Hey everyone, this is episode 160 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me is the Miles Tracker, OSG, and our favorite masked Avenger for the Dynamo, Xespool. Xespool, how's your evening going, sir?
Hey man, I'm living life, doing great. Still recovering from not making it to the playoffs, but well, that's what we're here for. We're here for our weekly therapy on the Dynamo, and hopefully we get to at least kumbaya with each other at the end of the night.
There will be plenty of kumbaya tonight, and definitely a lot of closure as much as possible. But
What a
OSG,
hey
yeah,
OSG,
yeah,
what a disappointing 20th season. Let me hear you, bro.
yes.
Hi, how you doing? I'm here.
How are you
I'm
doing,
here.
OSG?
The mileage tracker is here. A lot of miles this year. Thank God it's almost coming to an end just because there's nothing to enjoy about it. One more trip, one more planned trip for Dash. Hopefully a Christmas party or something else pops up, but the mileage tracker is coming to the end for this calendar year. So H is up to all y'all that have seen me this year. I look forward to seeing y'all again. And man, Andres, Xespool, good to see y'all this whole time. This whole time, man. Good to see y'all tonight. What's up?
Sir, oof. You could say interesting weekend, which we're gonna get into as well. And of course, if you guys haven't caught up on our Foxtrot game days for Dasher Dynamo, I highly recommend checking that out because we had plenty of reactions, both pre-game and post-game, and not to mention the media availability and the reactions from the players in the in the mix zone, if you could call it that. But plenty to talk about, of course, and plenty of stuff to get into. But of course, we're gonna get into the game, and with that, we're gonna get into the result against San Diego. We're not gonna get really in depth into the game because there's no need. But successful. I want
More
to
of the
hear
same.
more of the same, of course. But heading into this game, of course, it was a must-win situation for the Dynamo, and before the game even started, of course, FC Dallas being putting a lot of trouble into that situation because it forces Houston to go into the game and beat San Diego, the leader of the Western Conference at the time, and looking to break the record for most points by an expansion team and successful. First of all, heading into this game, what were you expecting from San Diego and Houston?
Oh man, I don't think they were happy that we gave them a ass kicking at home, and I think they wanted to come back. And what a perfect way to do it than at home. And to I think to us those points were more valuable than to them. They're to us they're worth 6 points, and it was a winnable game to be quite honest with you. And the way they played too, it was a winnable game. But of course, you go back to the Dynamos. Pain points this whole season, which is scoring. Scoring XG can tell you 10 goals expected, but we not even score one. Um,
We won. We won XG this game, by the way, by 0.01%.
but the point being, when you matter the most, it's do or die. It was more of the same, the same lethargic team, the same team that looked like they didn't want to play at times, the team that looked lost on the field at times, and the team that didn't look like it had the fire that we had in the past few years, man. I was disappointed for sure. I don't know about you guys.
Extremely disappointed, and I'm definitely gonna get in way into that in just a second. But I want to hear the thoughts from OSG because we were expecting, obviously, a lot of things, and it was more so concerning. But I want to hear the thoughts from OSG heading into this game.
I mean, if you listened to the last episode, right, y'all? Our expectations exactly what happened this game. Maybe we scored an extra goal than what we expected. I mean, did we expect a win? Did we I think kind of were optimistic for a tie, and we knew we beat them in San Diego, but to do it again in the situation we're in, so expectation to get a win, yeah, no belief there. I mean, a little bit, Forever Orange, but it was just, it was what it was. And Xespool said we put up a better fight than what we kind of expected. The XG was in our favor, but possession, passes, stats across the
Wasted
board
opportunities.
was in favor of San Diego. In favor, and we did win the XG 2.32 to 2.31, but we did not finish our opportunities, and they did, and theirs were easy sometimes. And with the Berdino, he started and did nothing, so we don't need him back. He wasn't our savior. Y'all get off the Berdino bench. All right, my bad.
Hey man, we're here. We're all here to vent. We're all here to get some closure after this performance. And I wanted to just really race through the performance because there's no need to talk about it. But of course, a 4-2 loss to San Diego FC, and I'm gonna tell you my initial reactions after this game because for me, the fact that we went up 1-0 in 15 minutes, go to halftime, 1-0, having a positive outlook as to how things could run, only to start the game, let San Diego press through, force a penalty kick, tie the game, just let San Diego walk all over us up to the 85th minute when they were able to get another goal. Let Sergio Santos come into the game, score in the 87th minute, which is awesome, and then let San Diego score another goal 2 minutes later to then go to stoppage time, 12 minutes into stoppage time, trying to keep our hopes up until then San Diego scored the fourth goal in the 90th plus 13th minute to just go home with no playoffs. San Diego breaking the record for most points by a team in an inaugural season in MLS history, getting our 9th home loss of the season, which extends the record for most home losses in Dynamo history, and celebrating 20 seasons. 20 seasons without playoffs, coming out of the season where we earned the most points in club history. And in repeated episodes, we kept saying that the team has not filled the gaps, the team doesn't look convincing, the team does not deserve playoffs, and this is where we're at right now. Nothing to show for in 2025. Still have to play another game because us as Dynamo fans definitely want to see the Dynamo play again in 2025. And
for sure,
they give us the sweet mercy of having the week off for the international break, like we asked for it, of course. And yeah, man, all those things considered, I'm kind of glad the team didn't go to playoffs like we were talking about. But really looking into that game, looking back how the season has turned out, and how they've been able to toy with our emotions for the past. It seemed like 10 years. This season has lasted 10 years, and
it feels really long.
It's never gonna end. It's never gonna end. We're gonna go to Kansas City in 2027, and the season is not gonna start until a couple days later. So honestly, a lot of frustration to share. But Xespool, I wanted to start with you. And what were your thoughts on the season right after that game?
I think the season really, this season, it really put us where we belong the entire time. We were we were never a team that really found a footing. We never found an identity on the field. Um, More importantly, we didn't even have a core of players that were consistent. Uh, Disappointed for sure. I mean, yes, I do want to point out like the club itself is growing for sure. It's the footprint of the team is growing, but as a team performing on the field this year, I feel like the team took a step back.
What did you say about
No matter
Hart?
how much, huh?
What did you say about Hart?
About what?
Hart.
they don't put any heart. They don't have any.
Remember, it was recorded. We heard about it the other day.
They don't have any heart. But I mean that the heart itself has absolutely nothing to do with the leaps and bounds they or and the progressive, style they're coming in now with the administration. I mean that's what I'm applauding, right? They're trying to reach the community more. They're doing things better now. The car show now they're doing an annual car show. That's a great thing to set up to look forward to every year, right? Things like that they're implemented in place. Great. As a team, though, which is what puts money on the table and what really the show is about, we underperformed, and there's no ifs and buts about it. And I think the biggest player they're responsible for that is Arthur. I'm not going to shut up about that. It's just we just expected so much out of him. If anything, we always thought that Herrera looked way better because he was always there. So for us to get the kind of player we got out of him this year was underwhelming for the team. It wasn't what we needed. It wasn't what we expected it. And then you can start going down the list with players that we hoped for more, but overall disappointing. Disappointing, and I'm glad we didn't make it. It gives us time to rebuild.
And there's definitely a lot of time in the preseason or even the off season to make those type of decisions. And this is an open invite, of course, always to Pat Olsen and Asher Mellison. That we will definitely love you guys to just come over and tell us how the season's gonna go or what is there to improve. And of course, we do have plenty of questions
That
to
they
ask.
were there. I mean, I'm not. I mean, credit to those guys too. I mean, they're there with us in the supporter side, and they
Yep.
show up and they show their faces. They do, and they don't owe us that. I do want to make that clear for those for
They
those
even
people
brought a
that really
12
think
pack,
that I'm
y'all.
slamming
Pat,
the.
Pat brought a 12 pack. I mean, it's a 12
Hey,
pack, but
so check. Yeah, no, they're there and they converse with you, and they'll if you
Yep.
pick their brain about the moves and why they're doing what they're doing, they're there to answer. But I mean, it would be great to have. I mean, now we heard Pat on JD podcast say something about, hey, we need an impact player in every position for next year. That's what we're looking for. So, okay, great. Now we have something to look forward to, right? And we haven't heard him speak that way before. So to me, that's a little new. But okay, well, let's put our money where our mouth is, right? And now we're starting to see the moves, right? We heard Pat a week ago say something like that, like, "Hey, I want impact players in every position." Now we're starting to hear the chatter about the team being sold or whatever, the dash, right? But I mean, it's not like the dash comes by itself, right? Yeah, they operate independently or whatever, but at the end of the day, they're tied. So if Dash gets sold, what happens to the Dynamo? They get sold. We don't know this, right? We're just saying, but it looks like the foundation is getting there for next year, right? And it looks like Pat wants some to finally admit it to himself, or maybe he finally gave in and said, "Okay, we need impact players in every position." We've been asking for this for years. That's why we got Herrera. I don't know what you think, OSG.
whew, he's got a lot. It's tough. I was a believer at the beginning of the season, and as the season goes along and the season comes to the end, now you question some of these moves and some of these players. We don't even know if we're going to see them next season. They have options. Santos, who just got his game, his second game or whatever, may not even
Yeah,
be here next season. Lowe may not even be here next season. Probably will not be here next season since he hadn't even played a friggin' minute yet. A couple other players too. So we don't even know what we're going to look like next season. So we did great the first 2 years, and that's where there was a lot of belief in the project. But after the moves that were made this year, and like none of those moves were trajectory moves that we. Man, it's like my beer was bitter when I was sipping it out of the tap. Since we're on the beer topic here, but this season was just mediocre, and they say they're building for next season. Well, how many of these players are returning for next season? Bossi's on an option, Seba's on an option. We don't kind of a lot of fans kind of don't want them to return or don't care if they return.
you
They
could argue Linger. You could argue players like Linger. You could argue players like McGlynn, for example. You could argue another player like Andrade, which seems to be favored a lot, not just by Ben, but also by Onstad and the admins. So I mean, and then you got the staples like Dorsey coming back, and then you have Now you have
He coming
Bond.
back?
Now you actually have a keeper.
Is Dorsey coming back? Is he?
I, I believe he is. I believe he is.
He probably
I,
wants
I,
to.
but I mean, don't Dynamo and him are a good fit on system wise. Dorsey was beat into the Dynamo system,
Well, right. It's
uh, and
clear.
and he thrived. He thrived now. I mean, not only that, but he's a very good quality defender. I don't see why we would let him go in the first place.
Well, and
You
at
know,
the same time, that means your Escobar is absolutely out the window if you're confirming, Dorsey
Yeah,
there.
like
I'm trying to play FIFA with him, so if I ever get a chance, I'll ask him. I'll be like, "Hey, che boludo, decime, ¿por qué te quedas con el
Ask
Dynamo?"
Quinones. He talks a lot.
Bro, yeah, see, I don't know how to DM Quinones. I'm
Sorry.
just like to his DMs.
Just play FIFA with him or Call of Duty. I mean,
Oh, oh yeah, I like that. I like
yeah,
that.
I think it does stream that, and I did want to go back to the conversation between Pat and Asher because the one thing I wanted to highlight is the fact that they're extremely open about things, or they're at least the most open that we've ever had when it comes to
Yeah,
having a soccer general manager and technical director. First of all, we never had a technical director before Asher,
it's great.
and and
yeah.
Pat Onstad,
Well,
of
yeah,
course, for the past couple of years, he's been coming off like weekly on Soccer Matters. Of course, the person before him like now went to Soccer Matters like now and then, but there's enough clarity between Pat Onstad and Asher. They'll share stuff on Twitter, which, by the way, awesome that we get some of the thoughts about behind player signings or what a team wants to do. But for me, if you go back all the way back to the previous season, I had a lot of hope. There, even
I did too.
despite them trading out Hector Herrera and Coco and Mikael with a few days left before the season started, I had a lot of hope because I was invested into the project that they've built up until that point, and I still believe in the players. But I'll see what one season later, things have definitely changed, and I definitely have an outlook as to what the team has to do now and the
For
players that they have
me,
to like turn over and build this offseason because there's definitely a lot of things they have to do. There's a lot of decisions they have to make when it comes to a personnel that's currently under contract and the options. And we're definitely going to focus on that in the next episode. But just
yeah.
what are your thoughts?
Andres, I was one
no,
that was really hopeful this season and predicted us to do well this season, even after Achiache was gone. And I supported Achiache being gone. And I think I have evidence this season how much he played into Luca. And
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
so, he
yeah,
wasn't.
no, yeah. He
Maybe
was
a
carried by
captainship
the
would have
by the
been
team there.
great off the bench, but then Coco was a great. We miss him, but we knew he was leaving. Mikhail was a surprise. We weren't prepared for him, I guess, and didn't fix him. And the defense was a big question this entire season. So, but that should have been something that could have been a quick and easy fix. Quick and easy
But
fix.
to our
But
defense on that, like let's
our
be
defense or
honest.
whose defense?
But let's be honest. There's one elephant in the room nobody's really addressing here. How do you combat injuries? Because that's really the Achilles this season. Injuries came at a very key time. Every single time a player got injured.
On the
Example,
defensive side. That's it.
I wouldn't. Okay,
Well,
okay.
I mean,
Defensive
all
side.
right, our keepers got destroyed too as well. Our keepers
That's
got
what I'm
destroyed.
saying.
Our
Yeah.
Yeah,
defenders
yeah.
got
That's what I'm
destroyed,
saying. You're
and
right.
then
That's what
you
I said. Yeah,
finally set the two wingers, and then the two center backs. But you could have brought in somebody bigger instead of bringing in four different center backs to try to help. And then
absolutely.
and then
But
I'm
we
sorry,
didn't
Femi.
anticipate Eric to get
Oh,
hurt.
mm,
Eric getting hurt was key there because you cannot tell me that Dynamo with Eric are one team and without him are another because we saw him in one game. So,
Yeah. And remember that they extended Eric Svechenko too. So they had a
and
lot of belief in Eric.
Eric
And
personally speaking to him, Eric had mentioned he would leave next year. So you know now they're extending him. Why? Because he knows he could have left something on the field. He's got a chip on his shoulder now. Maybe he owes it to the city. Maybe he loves the city so much now, whatever that was. But how do you combat injuries? Because it wasn't just Eric. Okay, we got two goalkeepers injured, and then we have a goalkeeper, and then we go and buy another one, which I personally believe we wasted our money. But
Right,
again, how do
exactly.
you
We
combat
wasted our
injuries?
money. Pedro Cruz could have been a great starting. Blake Gillingham could have been a good one. You go and get Bond, who is questionable by a lot of people and a lot of experts too, as well.
And so look, Bond may be a great person, great human being. Nobody's questioning that. But when it comes to
Forget
player,
personality. Let's talk soccer.
exactly. When it comes to the sport itself, Gilligan was at the same level, if not in a better
Yeah,
form. And I've personally spoken to him. I personally root for this motherfucker. And so I'm telling you, uh, how do you combat injuries? How do you combat positions with this small amount of money that we have? Right? And then you go on and waste it on four defenders instead of bringing two medium quality ones or one great quality one. What are we gonna look like next year? What players are we gonna have back? I
well,
don't
good
know, but the
segue because
problem
we have
is
so much
injuries.
money available for next season already. Plus, we haven't even seen options we declined, which will be more money. So, who's
Yeah.
coming in? How are we going to fit the defensive line? How are we going to build and be ready for these damn injuries? Because Ben ain't changing tactics.
Oh well.
You have to put
Yep.
players that fits the style, fits the formation, fits the fucking tactics. Because we're going to be one way, one style. We do it the mini ball way, mother.
I mean, I kind of
Yes.
like that. It looks like a little smoke screen right now because we don't know what the heck we're gonna get. Thank
Pretty
you, though.
much. And what she kind of said, it got like so much money, like that could be potentially be on the table, on top of the 5 million in gown that's gonna roll over.
With Linger
I don't
being
know.
bought down to make another DP
Yeah.
available at any second, he's there to add to that.
Linger is a very good player, but I don't see him as a DP. So he was
Well,
a very good choice to bring down.
it's only temporary. It's
Yeah.
to make things cheaper. But as
Hmm.
Andreas was saying, so I'm just gonna throw that in. Like Linger can be bought down too to make DP. All that money we have available is gives us hope, but at the same time, where's that hope going to go? Because we're bringing in mediocre players. You just said it, Xespool, mediocre players. Andreas, I think you kind of, I don't know, you haven't said so, but nobody has stood out in all these extensions, all these players that have come into us. I mean, we had excitement about a couple players and nothing panned out. Nolly's been the last best one, and he was been hurt for a year. McGlynn came in, thank
Right.
God, thank
I mean,
God. So, I
I
mean,
mean, Junior Urso has been the more regular one.
Urso came out
Um,
of nowhere. He was a experience coming in, and I
yeah,
hope we keep him. I hope we keep him.
yeah,
yeah.
he's one of those I would see come back and Linger. Coming in Linger this season, coming in. Came in strong, but he's on a downtrend right now. So it'll be interesting. I think he comes back next year. I don't think one of the two, Sebas or Basi, come back. One of the two has to go. There's no room for all three of them on that field, and it's evident. For one, when all three of them get to play, there's a lot of wasted opportunities.
Andres, real quick. I know you have a thought, real quick, but of the two, I'm keeping Seba over Bossy, and I'm sorry, Bossy. Both of you are friendly, whatever with our characters. I don't care about that. Like you said, players on the field fit the formation. We need more attacking. Seba goes forward. Seba, not Sebas. And Bossy
Mhm.
is more of your holding. So if they can fit where they can come off the bench and be useful, then that's fine. But I'm keeping Seba over Bossy, Andres.
It's definitely something that I see happening if it were to be in between Kovalchik and Vasi. Like a reasonable person that has seen this season will definitely pick Kovalchik, but this is Ben's team. You know where he's gonna go. Well, but I mean, there's a lot of decisions there, and the
Nah.
one thing on top of Orso that the player that the one of the new players that I want to see return and I feel like it's more so a bite in the bullet. I feel like Sergio Santos has to step in for next year because on top of the experience that he shows, the game against San Diego, the very few minutes that we see him play, brother, he all the runs that Ponce made, he made it look better, and the goal that he scored, I mean,
Where the
he
hell
has to
did
come
that
back.
come
Yeah.
from?
Yeah,
Sergio Santos. I
Now,
mean,
I do wanna disclaim things. This is just our fantasy picks, okay, guys?
yeah.
Stop getting like they went this. Shut up. Let us have our fantasy picks. Go on, Andres.
No, yeah. I mean, Sergio Santos, I feel like he has to come back. Like, he's definitely a
Yeah.
presence and a very useful piece for Ben for next year. And of course, that has more to do with who we're gonna get as a designated player. If we're actually gonna get an actual game changer,
Santos also
that
has an option, by the way, for next season.
yes, for next season. So I feel like it would be
Wow.
smart to just get him back for next year to see how he pans out. But
But
it
like you
like I
said,
yeah,
tune in next week, y'all, on Thursday Night Live. No game this week, so no game to focus. We're going to focus on the options
thank goodness.
and the contract, and we're gonna throw it all out there. We're gonna Andres and whoever else we bring on. We're gonna talk about what we think, who should get a contract, who shouldn't. And basically, at the end, I'm going to tell you who my starting 11 is going into the offseason with this roster right now, which kind of sucks to think about it. But, Andreas, sorry, continue. I just wanted to give a little shameless promo for next week.
No, you're good. Yeah, that was more so what I was getting into because since we don't have a like OSG says, we would have a game this weekend. We're gonna be focusing on getting that list down and because it's going to be a packed episode next week, and of course the preview before MLS Decision Day because we definitely want to preview that game against Kansas City coming up. But before we get into the next topic, just wanted to hear Xespool thoughts about, or we could be looking into the roster for next year and maybe some of the players that he wants to keep.
Ooh, I think we're gonna see a lot more of the same from this year. Like the same thing as we had this year. A lot of players leaving, a lot of players coming in. What we're bringing in, I mean, there's a clear sight now, and a clear um, objective to have now that we're having impactful players or whatever that may mean. So, what may that look like? A lot of your favorite players may not come back. That's a reality. Just look at the numbers. We were underwhelming, so I don't expect a lot of people to come back.
Hey, big
Yeah,
shout out to Jeff Strong, by the way, the Dynamo Cooligan, shouting out and commenting throughout the whole show. And I see your comments, bro. I see your comments. And forget Bossy, man. Forget Bossy. That's Ben's boy, but forget Bossy.
No, and one of those players he did mention on the chat. Brooklyn Reigns. What a season has he had? One of the guys that we could actually, have one of those things to say, okay, he's one of those guys that stood out this season. Yeah, the team was shit, a little bit shit, but maybe he wasn't. He's developed it very well. Kudos to him. Congratulations to him, by the way, because they defeated Italy.
Italy.
Italy. So
Yes,
now it's them and Morocco. So
3
Mexico
nil,
got to
3
be
nil.
Morocco. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Mexico got to be Morocco. So now it's the US. Hey, bro, what a final would it be if it's Mexico US? Wow.
yes.
And then, now since we're in the shouting out
Hey,
department, I also
you
want to
know who
shout
would be
out
in that final?
to
Shout it out. In Mexico? With Mexico?
oh yeah, Gilberto Mora.
Hey,
Gilberto Mora.
come on. Is Sebastian
Yeah, but that's where
Rodriguez
the
on the
US
team?
loses, bro.
Is
Yeah,
Sebastian
that's
Rodriguez
what.
on that team?
Yeah, but that's kind of Sebas is not on that team actually. He's on the under 17. I'm actually gonna shout him out.
Under
My boy
17.
Sebas is over.
No, he's
Yeah, he's on the. Yeah,
Bro's 18 years old.
he's under 18.
No, Ondrej can
Yeah,
play
bro.
over 17.
Yeah,
Oh, oh, it's not
he got
fucking.
called up for the World Cup. He got called up for the World Cup. So big shout out to my boy. It is also said that Mora is gonna be playing on that World Cup. So big deal for him if he actually gets to play with Gilberto Mora on the same team. Imagine, bro. They imagine the level of experience you'll get from a player like him. So I mean, but congratulations to him. You know, one of those Dynamo standouts. He's been trying really hard. He's been called up to the first team already, Leagues Cup. Some of us were mad he didn't get to play, especially with the Dynamo being eliminated. But again, one of those decisions that at this point
Hey,
is
hey,
one of
look,
the
look.
five.
Fire at will. Brooklyn is gone. Brooklyn will leave at some point, and we will get paid for
Yes.
his adventure.
Well, there is
How soon it
interest. There
will
is
be,
interest in Europe.
and yeah, it will be Europe, and Brooklyn will go, and he will get, and we will get paid for it. And granted, whenever that is, go, bro, go.
Yeah.
We are good
Let's not
with it.
make the
Yes,
We
same
go
got
mistake
go
we made
Brooklyn.
with
We got
Coco.
go
Jack that's
play.
going.
We get paid.
Andrade is going to be at 1 year with us, and then he's going to go as well. That's three
Yeah.
right there that are bringing us money for sure on top for the next year. So keep it going. Yeah, good.
And that takes pressure from Femi. That takes pressure
Oh God,
from
why we
players that
bring
are
up
gonna come up.
Emmy? This is YouTube. Oh, our sponsor.
Streaming
Where is
Hey,
live on YouTube.
hey, bro.
sponsor?
Yeah. And
But
that
that
was
takes
a
pressure from one of the players we're trying to develop, motherfucker. I particularly like him. I think I just need to be patient with him.
He said,
He's
we're
great.
not worried about the man. We're worried about the player.
That's what I'm
hey man.
saying. The player. I need to be
He could
patient with the player.
he could turn out like Mikhail. Like
I mean,
remember,
yes,
Mikhail
he
started
said that,
really
but
slow, really bad, really
That's
bad.
what I'm saying.
But
You know, if we
just wait
were
until next
like,
year. Just wait until
yeah,
next year. Yeah,
you
see how it
know,
goes. Yeah. And that was a good segue into players having called to international duty. Of course, Brooklyn Reigns being the highlight
let's
of the
go,
Dynamo so
Brooklyn.
far because
hell
coming
yeah.
out of a golazo against France and that disappointing performance against South Africa, even though he didn't play, he featured full 90 minutes against Italy today, and man, they made spaghetti out of Italy, man. Like 3-0 to advance to the U20 World Cup Quarterfinals against, you said it, Morocco. They're going to be playing on Sunday afternoon. I think kickoffs at around 2:30 or 3 p.m. here in Central Time. So, big thumbs up to Brooklyn Reigns. Massive thumbs down to Fox Sports because they did not live stream the game except in Spanish. So I got to watch it, but unfortunately, a lot of people had to stream it in Spanish.
Or
So
like somebody turn on the SAP button on that something.
yeah,
You, you mean they didn't play it on cable live? They
on
live
cable.
streamed it through.
Yeah,
They live streamed it through their app, and they
yeah,
made people on cable wait till now. It's going on now in the background. If you could see what's going on, but
yeah. That sucked though, but hopefully that's gonna get on cable. Hopefully on Sunday. So we'll have to wait and see. And that,
what? So what
yeah,
took its place? By the way, tell people what took its place because obviously that's more important.
uh, MLB playoffs, right?
Obviously, so
Yeah,
can't argue that they should have found a way to put the platform out there, but or make it easier or offer something for people to get it for
Or
free.
streaming at least,
Well,
you
they
know.
have
it
they
was
have Tubi,
streaming.
right? Yeah,
If you have cable, you just log into the Fox app and you could have watched it, and then you could have thrown it up on your TV if you have a smart TV. So you just have to
Yeah.
know, but that's also on them to tell you you could do that, which is pretty fucking easy, by the way. You just throw it up on your fucking smart TV and you're
Yeah,
good.
screen mirrors. Stop
Yeah.
doing stupid shit
So,
on your phones and mirror it to your fucking TVs. You know,
boom,
everybody's
boom,
healthy.
yeah,
boom. So technically,
Behave.
you could have watched this. So everybody that bitched about it is still back in the Stone Age with the
Hey,
Flintstones, and we're up there with the Jetsons.
hey, y'all still go to the
yeah.
store to pay your phone bills, huh? Y'all don't pay them online.
Who?
Wow. Whoever's asking
Yep,
for that,
same
yeah,
guy.
those technology challenge people.
All
And
right, Andres,
Brooklyn
take back
Reigns,
control. Take back control, Andres. Let's
Emma.
go.
No. Brooklyn Reigns is riding the dream right now because of course, the U20 World Cup, and he was also voted as one of the 22 players in the 22 on the 22 list voted by MLS experts. So congratulations to Brooklyn Reigns as well, because he was one of the very few highs for the Dynamo this season. And like you guys said, he's gonna get sold next year, the year after that, after the World Cup, maybe.
I mean, we have a
It's
scary
gonna happen.
midfield. We have a scary midfield with him and McGlynn, but how long are they going to last us? That's the question. And then if we bring in
Both
an
leave in the same summer
impactful
window,
player in that position,
2026.
woo,
I
Both
feel
yeah.
leave
like
in the same summer window, 2026. That's my prediction. Go ahead, Andres.
they're gonna leave right after the World Cup. I feel like
Yeah.
a month or 2 months after the World Cup, they're gone.
Summer
So,
window, 2026. Yep.
and if that happens, then that's a big deal for Pat and Asher, because obviously they're gonna get paid, but they have to fill those gaps. So is also gonna come in? Are they gonna bring in somebody else that fit their molds? I
And
don't
then
know,
talk to
but
me about
yeah,
players like Quinones, like a player like Quinones. What's his deal?
He's going to Dose.
A
he has
play.
to play.
100% going to Dose. He has his option
Ah,
on his contract. He's going to Dose if he wants to
Yeah,
play soccer. If he's
and what
able to
about
play, if he's
Dueñas?
able to play soccer, he is going to Dose. There is
yeah,
nobody who's going to give an opportunity. We just did it with Achara 2 years ago. We will do the same thing with Quinones. We gave him the 1 game option, and then all right, we're shutting you down, bro. We're gonna let you play next season. You're gonna play with Dose. You don't cost us shit. You don't. It's not gonna be against our salary. Blah blah. All this good shit. So he's playing for Dose, and he has to earn his friggin' leg back. So I'm good with that 100%. If that's what we're doing. Anything with a first team on it, yeah, y'all better be sure about it.
yeah,
Hey, and what about those guys from those that are pushing hard, like
Diego
the number
Gonzalez,
10 guy,
Sebastian Rodriguez.
Sebastian
Sebas,
Rodriguez is the other
and then
name.
that other
Yeah,
guy that we brought in, number 10,
Yeah. Well, he's doing good too, but I want to see him
Tomas.
longer
Yeah,
term. I want to see him
Exxon
longer
when
term.
he comes back, Bovano when he comes back from injury. Those guys.
You still have an Exxon Arzu too.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I'm
You have
saying.
Exxon
So
Arzu till 2029 to tell you the truth.
yeah. 2029.
and
Let's go.
he's desperate to get first team minutes. I'll tell you that from sitting on the first team bench. He's graced the ceiling up there, and he wants it now. So he's pushing hard. I can tell you that. But I mean, injuries are just following him. 2 injuries in
Yep.
1 year.
Yep.
Again, it goes back to the same thing. What is happening at the Dynamo? I mean, you got players dropping like flies of Dynamo 2, players dropping like flies from Dynamo 1. Why? You know,
Yeah,
How
yeah,
do you combat that? You definitely have to address it because it's year over year. And I understand 1 year, you have injuries every year, but brother, multiple injuries to the point where every year we have to bring in players to supplement that.
yep.
What is happening?
Part of it. Part of it.
That's a struggle, and if it's part of 2026, I think all of us need therapy. We actually have to go to therapy if that happens, because it's an occurrence and it keeps happening.
Every Thursday night,
And
8 o'clock.
every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, and forever during the off season, forever. but the other three players I wanted to highlight for the international duty, of course, we just mentioned one of them, Sebastian Rodriguez. He did get called to the Mexican under-18s. I believe that's just training camp. But Damion Lowe, to the Jamaican national team, he is playing tomorrow, World Cup qualifying, potentially against Curacao. And the player that played today, that we just mentioned already previously, Ondrej Lingr, with the Czech Republic, he did sub in for the Czech Republic in the 75th minute, 76th minute against Croatia. It was a 0-0 tie, but it was a big deal because it was part of World Cup qualifying. So
Yeah.
this was goes to either OSG or Xespool. If you guys watch any that game, or any thoughts that you have for one of those three players.
I couldn't watch the Linger game because I was technologically challenged on that. What do I think of it, brother? Every time we get a national player, it's huge now. Players like Lowe, we'll see what his deal is with us. A player like Linger, though, it's good that he's subbing in. His next step is not going to be starting, but I mean, good luck with that. When we're playing, I don't see that happening soon, but it's good that he's getting in minutes. It's a good experience for him. He's bringing that back to the team. He's obviously staying informed through the break, so that's a benefit. I mean, player like Reigns killing it with the US, tremendous amount of experience he's getting, and you can actually tell the difference every time he's coming in. He just looks a little better every single time. It's great for us. I mean, would love to see that more players, being called out. But anytime you get an opportunity like that, it's good. Your players are going to come back good. But there's also the risk injuries. That's the only downside.
Goddamn
Yeah,
injuries, man, dude. I like that Linger got called up. I mean, Andres, how many caps does he have? This wasn't cap number one, was it? So it's. I I like that he was called up. I like that he got to play. It's good for him. It's good for his ego because he has one, so he needs to be put in his place a little bit, and he needs to realize you need to perform and leave that shit behind. So hopefully this is good for him, and like Xespool said, bring it back to the team too. Not all international players do bring their shit back to them. Damion Lowe, he ain't coming back, bro. He signed and didn't get to play 1 second. I hope he does get to play, man. Maybe that was a deal. Maybe that was a deal. Hey, you're here for next season. We're only using you on emergency mode, But Asher ain't got all the transparency. So maybe we can find that out in the off season, or maybe we can find that out when contracts are signed. I don't know. We'll see what's next. Sergio Santos, I'm excited for. I'm hopeful for.
yes,
Even though he'll be a super sub, as long as he brings that same energy. I don't expect much more from him, but super sub.
yes. There's plenty of things to look forward to, and a lot of talent that we have that we talked about those. And
Victor,
Victor
bro,
Ice on the
I'm
chat.
gonna
Where
fucking
is OSG? You're being held hostage.
Blink three times. Blink three times if you're in danger.
Blink
Uh,
4 times if Asher is in the room with you. but but yeah, a lot of talent that has been getting eyes from national teams across the board, and one of those teams, of course, you just mentioned Sebastian Rodriguez with those. And this is the next topic, being those decision day, the day after the Dynamo played last week. I'm gonna give you some context because imagine myself on Sunday afternoon, like being back at home after watching that Dynamo game that gave me an existential crisis. I'm watching the those game just started. This is a game that they had to win because they needed the points to try and catch up to North Texas
Andres, we
and
can stay
jump
away
over
from
Austin
winning this
SC2.
game.
Yes, but hold on. I was trying to. Oh,
My
we
bad, my
go
bad.
into
Victor's
we
got me
go into.
distracted, and I got you distracted.
I know, I know. Well, look, I turn on the game. It's those decision day, MLS Expo decision day. I was very much looking forward to this game because I know Tacoma is going to be a tough opponent, but I was looking forward to a great game of soccer. Do you know what happens? In the first 35 minutes of the game, we concede 4 goals. We concede 4 goals in 35 minutes to start the game. I'm like, I think I'm sleeping. I think I'm dreaming. I'm having a nightmare right now because the one thing I really don't want right now is multiple goals in the first half. And I'm watching the game, and it's kind of like those is just letting Tacoma run through them. And I'm like, this is somebody's playing FIFA in the background right now. This is not real, but
but I mean,
No,
that
it's
that that
Friday
did
the
happen
13th.
before.
Jason is running amok upon the Blake, and the dose are the people that are getting killed against Tacoma. every single game since we're in October. I just want to bring that up. We do not beat Tacoma, period. They
That's
destroyed us
true.
4 years of history, and I think they've eliminated us 3 times now. 3 times. One of those in the playoffs. Or actually, I think 2 of those. Whichever. 3 times now. Bro. We weren't winning that game.
But
Good
even
job
then,
to the
man,
young kids.
like you did not expect to have 4 goals in 35 minutes like that, especially the way the team was playing. You expected that at the end of the game, and we all know this. Not at the very beginning.
Bro,
That's what Andres is mad about.
we're a U18 team. We're a U18 team playing a U23 league. We are the youngest team by far in the next pro, and we still performed well and still had an opportunity
Oh,
to
and
make the
nobody's
playoffs.
taking that away from it. It's
No, it's
just
not.
that,
We just want to
it's
bring context back to it that
yeah,
we got our ass kicked. Tacoma is our rival. We're going to come for Tacoma every single season, and we'll be back,
Yes.
y'all. But there was no hope or optimism in this game, by the way. Yeah, just wanted to make that clear. But this was a good team, and they have a lot to move on. And those players, a couple players signed this season as well, and moving up. There's a couple All Stars. There's a couple U17 and U18 call ups as well at the same time that were announced recently. So there is a lot of potential. They're just so friggin' young. So it'll be a while before they can actually help the first team. But that's also on us to bring in some players of older age and experience that can be helpful and have a potential of making the first team and not just be a
well, yeah. If
roster.
you want to treat it as a U18, I mean,
It's not a
Yeah.
U18, a
no,
U23,
man, I'm just
pretty much.
no, I'm saying
The second team.
Honestly,
It shouldn't be an age
like
group at all.
no, I know what you mean, but like
uh,
there was something said like that where they wanted to basically develop the players and actually make them useful coming up from two into one. And it started from the farm system that Dynamo had, which is picking up players from the city, like local clubs, and then bringing them into the academy. So there is this, push, and there is this noticeable difference from we brought. I remember a couple of years ago we brought this prodigy from America, Paulo Rios, supposedly one of the top youngsters in Mexico, and didn't really do much here. And then we shifted from that into bringing players who are not only young, but that have a great projection for the future and that are playing positions that we actually need. You know,
yep.
and so it looks bright, man. They're developing the players really well, and these shows bringing in the players they're bringing in, like Femi and now Nico Hansen playing in Colorado, Pedro Cruz playing in Nashville, bro. Crazy, crazy, And so it's successful. Now we need to start believing in ourselves, but yeah, all in due time, of course.
Yeah. I didn't want to come up as really pessimistic about those. It's just because at the moment it was just really heated, and of course that it being the decision day and the last opportunity for those to make playoffs for consecutive seasons. It was unfortunate that it kind of ended like that. First time ever that those missed playoffs, but really, you mentioned it yourself. It was the youngest team to be fielded this year in MLS Pro in terms of like age average, which is fantastic. We're giving a lot of opportunities for academy players that have been getting looked at by the Dynamo, which is great. And I look forward to that. Of course, having that team trying to be cohesive and being successful, like battle for first in the conference, is very difficult. It's just unfortunate that there's been games this year that I feel like those could have done a much better job, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Like it's
But
very difficult to
Especially
develop
the
players.
Vancouver games, bro. The Vancouver
Um,
games. Those games really hurt. Those were 2 wins that they had in the bag. And they just fell apart in the last minutes of the game. So, but again, they're the young team, and it's gonna be really tough to build a team to farm or to pick up a player or two every 2, 3 years from your team, and also make them a dominant force in the league. What's next? It's gonna be really tough to do that. You know, not only, but and if you are able to do that, then that means your first team is already set in the first place. So, and we're not there yet. So, OG.
Marcelo Santos did a very good job this year with the team that he was put in front of him and the way he controlled that team and pushed these boys to fight every single game and the composure within the press conferences afterwards and talking to the boys and then the boys talking to the media as well and just performing in the game. You didn't see red card. I mean, of course, there's red cards throughout the season, but you didn't see anything that was
Yeah.
stupid play for a team so young. It looks like they're being taught well and they're training well, and it shows. And so shout out to Marcelo Santos, the head coach of Dynamo Dose, and Kenny Bundy. You set the standard, and Marcelo is coming in and holding that standard. So just make sure we give a shout out to them and
Being
HSO.
on
Yes.
the being on the topic of those, what do you guys know about? I'm just gonna give a sneak peek for next week. What is the situation with players like Holiday? Because um, he's there, yeah, right?
I'm
You
fine.
know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of that guy, that little short guy we had before Chase, that little firecracker that we used to have at the Dynamo playing left back before.
Vanderkust?
Uh-huh. He was short and
Vanderkust?
bald. No,
Mm.
he
Oh. Oh.
had a short temper. Had a short temper, and he ended up leaving. He left like last year. Yeah,
Mm,
bro.
I think I remember. Oh,
Yeah,
what's the name? I
Victor,
might
if you're
remember.
there, bro. His first name was Chase.
Chase Casper.
Chase, guy,
Is
you
that who
know
you're
Chase
talking
Yes.
about? We
Casper.
don't talk about Chase Casper.
Yes.
Chase Casper sucked ass.
Yes. Yes.
He,
I remember.
Holiday
I
reminds me of
just.
Gasper, bro. The
I
same
just remember.
attitude.
I just remember that because OSG loves him a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's Holiday to me, like a Casper.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me
Well, he's
wrong.
Holiday
There's
and play.
quality. There's a step up in quality in those, but God, Jesus, bro, does he come with a lot of talk back to the refs and then all these, temper issues with the other team.
These kids are beating
uh,
me up. Rep, come on.
he had discipline issues, bro. Let's just say that.
Yeah, but there's honestly a lot of things to look forward to those, especially next year, because we'll see if we're going to be sole tenants of SaberCats Stadium, since the SaberCats are not playing next year and they might fold. So
Oh no,
we'll see if
no,
it.
they folded absolutely. They're not
Yeah,
playing. They were for. I actually got to talk to some of the players from the team, and they told me everything. But in short, the teams just pulled out. It wasn't economically viable, so they left the stadium. They just kind of folded everything, and I mean, it kind of sucks, bro. Rugby
yeah.
was something I started getting into this year, and it was
Me
a great
too.
experience. It was a great experience, and not only that, but I
Bro,
got to run it. I ran
throwing the
into a
ball
lot
is
of
so much
people.
fun.
Oh yeah.
It's like a spiral where you have to do it with both hands. Like I was getting into it too. I thought it was gonna be awesome, but unfortunately, I get that it wasn't like financially viable, but
Yeah, and then
so
my
much
boy,
fun.
I have a guy that's one of my customers in my day job because Xespool has a day job. And so he actually is a rugby player or was a rugby player for the SaberCats. So he kind of gave me the scoop ahead of time because I was also thinking about working with them. But oh man, it's sad to see them fold. Um, which brings me to that. Like, I'm not sure that's a very good question because they also have HSP, but it's not like the Dynamo charge anyways. And it's not like MLS Next charges for the games. But I wouldn't. I mean, with the gamblers being at the Shell Energy Stadium, I don't see how they would have him there, anyways. So, man, there's a lot of unknowns for the team. I can't wait for next season, dude.
Yes, and that is the next topic: the Houston Gamblers. They are back, and the way the UFL thing has been going on is definitely weird because the way it started right around when COVID began, it was the XFL and the UFL, and
Hmm.
over the past few years they were like trying to coexist with each other, and due to financial reasons, the XFL merged with the UFL, and one of the teams that I really liked, the Houston Roughnecks, they they were like unbeaten in the first season. I remember like it was during COVID. It was insane, and Then they started
Playing
playing
at
at
Rice Stadium, yeah.
yeah. They played at the TDCU first. I think then they moved to Rice and last year, and then they folded because of the merger between the UFL and the XFL, and the Houston Gamblers were born, and they're not gonna play at Shell Energy Stadium next year. So we're gonna see another football team come up. It's gonna be Texas Southern, and Sam Houston's only playing there temporarily, so it's gonna be two football teams full time. So,
Well, now three, yeah.
and the weird part of it is that I think like 7 UFL teams are using like soccer stadiums across the US, so it's gonna be insane. But
That was
I, yeah,
their like their little the new person that owns it now said that they're doing that. They don't want a 60,000 seat stadium for 15,000 people. They want to fill it, so they're using soccer specific stadiums now for this league, and they're trying to make it more of a better atmosphere, which is a good move. Do it and
yeah,
then grow it and
Yeah.
then move up when you can. So yeah, it's a good move. So but sucks that we're going to be so it's going to be two this year, money, two this year, and it'll be two next year, plus the Dynamo and Dash. So technically four this year.
And who knows? Who knows
Four,
about Dynamo 2 as well? Because, you know how
yeah,
crazy those
they'll
motherfuckers
stay in
are.
HSP. They'll stay in HFC. The city will let Dose use it, and there's no reason for them not to move. So they'll stay there. But 4-4. So four this season and four next season. Sam Houston, like you said, will go back to their home stadium, and then the Roughnecks will move in. So 4-4. But the
Jeez,
ground
man.
crew's got to keep
yeah.
it.
Yeah, Giuseppe asking the question about how many teams are going to play at Shell. And man, next year's going to be crazy because on top of Dynamo, Dash, and sometimes those, of course, we do have those two football teams coming up. And hey, man, whatever happens to the World Cup, I feel like they're going to be training in the
Oh yeah,
Shell
let's
Energy
do it.
Stadium now and then.
Fuck.
So hey, World Cup. Who wants the World Cup?
Hey, next week, bro. Next
Yeah,
week,
yeah.
I
They're
left
not going to
beams on
practice.
the
They're not
stove.
going to during the World Cup. They're not going to practice and train on at Shell. They're going to practice
They're gonna be at
and their other
HSP.
play. The game, the stadium will be safe for the games.
Yeah,
So
HBU.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
so
know, the
we're good there. But
universities,
there will be World Cup games, like you said, played there too as well. And then we'll
the
see what
Texas
else.
bubble.
We'll see what else is played there. So yeah, y'all follow the field crew on TikTok and make sure they're doing a good job. If they're not posting videos, we'll have to comment and make sure. Hey, where y'all at, bro? Where's our field? Where's our grass? Why is it in green?
Well,
Yeah.
Get those fucking lines off our field.
Like, get him a race for the field crew, man. But yeah. Oh man, I kind of hated last week, honestly. But we're at the end of the episode, thankfully. We still have lots to talk about in the next episode next week because the good news is we get some breathing room with the Dynamo on a bye. Yeah, we'll definitely have some more stuff to talk about next week, especially player roster decisions and of course whatever news comes up. But Xespool, thank you so much, sir, for joining us once again. Double dipping for Dynamo and Dash this week, man. Xespool, tell everyone where they can find you on social media and whatever plugs you want to share with us.
look, you can find me when you look for me. When you look for me, you can look for Cesspool on Instagram at Xespool. Again, Cesspool, Xespool. It's not sex pool, it's cesspool.
It could be
Okay,
whatever you want it to be.
dude, so I've been doing this promotion, bro, for this bar, right? And oh my god, how many people? Sex pool, how are you? I'm like, what the?
Thanks, fool.
You become
It's a
a
little
furry
strange, man.
now.
But yeah, you can find me there. Y'all can also find me at the stadium. And then, so Instagram is going to be the best way to connect with me. I appreciate the invitation, guys. It's always fun to be here. Always fun to rock it out with y'all and have the therapy session with the Dynamo. For all y'all
Yes, sir.
listening, I'm going to say something in Spanish. Esto no es para los mamoncitos. That means have fun, enjoy the podcast, and don't take life too serious, guys.
Enjoy it. Enjoy what it lasts, man. It's all about the good times and the bad times. But at the end of the day, man, we're all together. We're all celebrating the game. We're all having a good time. But yeah, of course, the season did not turn out to be the way we wanted to, but man, at the end of the day, we are forever orange, man. Right or die, but always means forever, y'all. Big shout out once again. Thank you so much, Xespool, and everyone engaging in the chat. Giuseppe, Firewheel, Victor Araiza, Jeff, the Dynamo King, man. Thank you for being here and
Yes,
supporting the
sir.
chat as always and giving us all the retweets, man. We do appreciate that. And of course, us you know where to find us at Dynamic Foxtrot on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky. Noodle Tiempo is the other hashtag, well, handle that we have on X. Just us keeping you guys updated as much as possible when it comes to Dynamo, Dash, and those. Unfortunately, two teams are out. Well, Dynamo still have a game to go, but the Dash are the team that matter right now because they're still in a playoff race, and
Stay
we do have
tuned.
plenty to talk about. But yeah, we just put out our Dash Dispatch, so check it out if you haven't already, wherever you listen to your podcast, and the best place to watch our stuff, Foxtrot TV, man. If you're watching this live on Thursday night, thank you so much for tuning in. This is where the place where you also get to see all of our content, video form, not just Dash Dispatch, Noodle Time, on Foxtrot Game Days, but also the media availability when it comes to Dynamo and Dash as well. So this is the best spot, man, and we do appreciate the subscription, the likes you put on our videos, and the comments. We read those every single time, and of course, you can also watch it on goals.tv/ at Dynamic Foxtrot. If you haven't checked it out already, we do have all the profiles linked in YouTube. If you go to your YouTube channel, you're gonna see our link there, so you can check it out. And of course, on social media, we're gonna have that link to give you guys all the links to check out our content. And let's see, anything you'd like to say? It could be Diamond related, Dash related, anything.
Yo, good season for traveling, by the way, to hanging out with my Sergies and hanging out with new people at the Dash game because I made every single Dash game this season. I didn't make every single Dynamo game,
Yes, sir.
unfortunately, but I kind of changed my coverage a little bit this year and focused on the Dash and made as many Dynamo as possible. The weekday games are impossible to make, by the way, unless I just prepare and take off. I did not make the national trip. I'm so disappointed in that this season. But
Yeah, me
I'm
neither,
looking
man.
forward to making it next season to wherever we go. I'm looking forward to doing a Dash one as well, whether it be very soon or next season. But man, y'all check out the Dash Dispatch, also on Foxtrot TV and any platform that you listen to. We cover the Dash, we talk the Dash, and we're hoping to do more this summer when there's more free time. But we'll see. We got to keep up with the people, and the people have a busy schedule. So H is up on this side, and I'm look forward to it. And got the Dash last home game Saturday in 9 days against the Kansas City Current. Get a ticket. There's going to be a nice scarf. It won't be this one, by the way. It'll be a nice scarf you get when you come into the stadium. So get there, man. It's worth it. And might be selling Upper Bowl tickets. Might be that many people
Maybe.
there. Let's see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I hope they
We'll
sell
see.
out. But yeah, get your tickets for the Kansas City current game, and man, go beyond for the Dash. And there's gonna be an insane playoff race and an insane home finale for the regular season. So get your tickets right now. Get your scarves. And the last thing I'm gonna say to everyone watching or listening, guys, I did not forget about the Arbor Police bobblehead giveaway, which is gonna be happening at the last week of the Dynamo season. And you need to know the password so you can DM me as part of the instructions, which I'm gonna share on Twitter that week. The password is gonna be Rashid Olabiji, one of the Dynamo's greatest players that ever graced our field. So that's gonna be the password. I'm gonna share the instructions with you on Twitter.
What's
The
the password?
giveaway is still happening, guys.
Sound like you sneezed.
Rashid Olabiji, one of the Dynamo's best players ever. Rashid Olabiji. You know that name.
You misspelled Dwayne the Rosario wrong or some
But there's
bullshit.
some
D Rock. Well,
man. I could say,
you meant Brian Ching. You meant Brian Ching. Is that
man,
what
I
you
could
meant?
say Brian Ching. I could say Leonel Miranda. I could say Chase Gasper. I could
Or
say
Vicente Sanchez.
Yeah.
Mark Sherritt. I could say Mark Sherritt, man. I could say
Hey,
Ken
hey,
Weaver,
the GOAT, Giles
the goats,
Barnes.
Giles Barnes. I saw
Hey,
Giles Barnes at the Dash game. He is part of the technical staff for Orlando,
so
and
yes, that's how I was
yes,
gonna tell you that. You know, I asked him. Um, I'm like, you want to know something, brother? And he was like, what? It was like, for as much shit as we gave you, we kind of wish it were back.
yes, yes,
I would take him over. Well, anyways, guys, it's been real. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your nights.
yes, sir, yes, sir,
Like
guys.
always, hold it down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in into this episode. And as always, stay noodle, y'all.
It's up.
Hold it down.